Hello, I'm Michael Diamond, and you're watching Muscle Central. Okay, now that Mamdou Elsbey, aka Big Ramy, has won the Olympia, people are already starting to ask how long will his reign last, and is he unbeatable? First off, nobody's unbeatable. Anyone on any given day can be beat. Some people are, excuse me, a little more difficult to beat, but everybody can be beat. What does Ramy bring to the stage? The name Big Ramy, he's a big man. He brings a lot of muscle. Up in, Now he brings conditioning. Up until now, that's always where he fell short. So he brings a certain level of conditioning, and I would think it's safe to assume that they figured out how to get him properly conditioned, and he'll be able to bring that again. So we have a big man, a lot of muscle, and a certain level of conditioning that's needed to win the big show. You know, size and conditioning combined is a tough thing to beat. If there's a lot of things you look at when you're judging a bodybuilding show, judging the bodybuilders on stage. Ultimately, bodybuilding is about muscle, but you're looking at, of course, the muscular development, the conditioning, the shape, the flow, all those things play a factor. Now, all other things being equal, it's a safe bet to say the bigger, more muscled competitor will get the win. After all, it's probably the reason why Lee Labrada, in the number of counters he had with Lee Haney, couldn't beat him. I forget what year it was, but there was one of the years where Lee came in second. Lee Labrada came in second. He could have arguably beaten Lee Haney. Problem was, Lee Haney was just too big. There's too much muscle there, and it wasn't going to happen. A good big man will always beat a good small man. So now with Ramy, we have a big man with a lot of muscle who's now bringing conditioning. Ramy has good structure. He has wide very very wide shoulders, but relative to his size, he has a narrow waist. As big as he is, as wide as he is, in relation to the rest of his body, his waist is fairly narrow. That's another thing going in his favor. He has good shape and pretty good flow to his muscle. You had a very formidable person on that stage. If he continues to bring the conditioning, he will be very, very hard to beat. Hadi Chupan as good as conditioning as he brings to the stage, as long as Ramy doesn't slip with his conditioning, Hadi could ever beat him, because he's simply, as long as Ramy has a certain level of conditioning, he is just going to overpower someone like that. Like I said, a good big man will beat a good small man. But he's not unbeatable. Very difficult to beat, not unbeatable. As I said in a previous video, it would have been very interesting to see what would have happened if Ruli Winkler would have been able to make it to the Olympia. Okay, to beat Ramy, you're going to have to bring a certain level of muscularity. No doubt about it. Ruli Winkler brings that level of musculature. Even though Ramy is Big Ramy, inch for inch, Ruli Winkler is bigger than Ramy. Like Ramy before now, Ruli never brought conditioning, that level of conditioning that he would need. But if he did bring that level of conditioning, he has the amount of muscle to stand strong next to Ramy, would not be overpowered. Doesn't have as good a structure as Ramy. I'm not saying he has a bad structure, but compared to Ramy has better structure. So someone like Ruli Winkler, who inch for inch carries more muscle than Ramy, and he won't be overpowered if he can bring a level of conditioning. Like I said, Ramy has better structure. Ruli would have to bring a level of conditioning beyond what Ramy brings to the stage to overcome what he lacks against Ramy in structure, but he definitely has the potential to beat him. Who else? We got, Akeem Williams. Akeem Williams is not talked about in the same conversation usually as the Bonaks, the Ramys, the Winklers, but Akeem is finally coming into his own. Here also we have a very big man. Akeem carries a tremendous amount of muscle. He's another one who will not be overpowered by Ramy. Maybe doesn't carry quite as much muscle as Ramy, but he carries enough size not to be overpowered by him. Well, one of Akeem's problems has always been not a lack of muscle, has been conditioning. But over the last couple of years and the last few shows especially, he's been working with Oscar Arden, and his conditioning is becoming better and better. He brought in a good enough package to place him sixth in the Olympia, and he you can make a very, very good argument for him being at least a couple of places higher. Right now, one of the things that work against him, he seems to have thick skin, which kind of might make his conditioning not look quite as good as it is. And I don't know if that could be remedied or over a little more time, as the body matures more, it will change. Kevin Levrone swears that fish diet thins the skin. I don't know. But Akeem Williams, with the size he brings and his conditioning getting better and better, he brings conditioning in at a certain level of conditioning. He has pretty good structure also. He definitely can battle with Ramy. Him and Ruli have the potential to beat him, but it also, other things play a factor. Ramy, like I said, he brings the size. He has the structure. If he slips with conditioning, reverts back to the old Ramy, Ruli Winkler brings in that level of conditioning needed, or someone like Akeem brings in the level of conditioning, yeah, they can most definitely beat him. Will it happen? Ultimately, we don't know until time passes. We'll see. Let's see what happens next year when they all step back on stage again. Let's see what Ramy brings. But to conclude this video, Ramy, with the size that he has, with his structure, and what's scary also is that he can probably carry more muscle on his frame without blowing out his waist. With the size he is, the amount of muscle he carries, with his structure, as long as he brings the conditioning, like I said, nobody's unbeatable, but some people are more difficult to beat than others. If he brings all those things, he will be very, very, very difficult to beat, and he's likely to have a very good reign, a long reign. Okay, you might agree or disagree with the things I've said in this video. Either way, please let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share, and by all means subscribe. Do not forget to hit that notification bell. This way, every time I put up a new video, you will be notified. Once again, this is Michael Diamond. I'd like to thank you for watching Muscle Central.